Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to your next Foundations lesson. We're going to get started. Here's my friend Echo. Say hi, Echo. All right. I'm going to say a letter card, and then you're going to repeat after me. Remember, the consonants are the tan color, and then we have our vowels, which are the peachish, pinkish cards. Okay, so we're going to work our way across. I'll say it first. You repeat after me. T, top, t. B, bat, b. F, fun, f. U, up, ah. O, octopus, ah. I, itch, eh. M, man, N, nut, C, cat, k. G, game, g. A, apple, ah. And we will talk more about those. So remember, we're going to use Echo the Owl, and we're going to go slowly through these cards. D, dog, d. You say it. Good job. S, snake, s. These are our two letters that we're working on today. So we have the D, capital D, and a lowercase d. And we have S, capital S, lowercase s. Now, remember, we talked about this last week when we met for Foundations, how the vowels can be stretched out. That's why there's this curvy line next to it. So when we say I, itch, I, U, up, O, octopus, A, apple, those sounds can be stretched out. Okay, we're going to move into our letter formations. And today we're working on D. And D is a plain line round letter. So if you look, you start right at your plain line and you curve around just like the C that we worked on last week in the letter O. It's the same way. You curve back, around, then you go up and then down. So you point to the plain line, curve around, back, down, and around along the grass line, all the way up to the skyline, trace back down to the grass line and say D, dog, D. Okay. With your finger, I want you to point to the plain line. We're going to run our finger along this and make a D, an imaginary D. I want you to curve around to the grass line, go along the grass line, and then up all the way up to the skyline, and then trace back down to the grass line and say D, dog, D. Notice we don't go down to the worm line at all. Let's do it again. Point to the plain line, curve around and along the grass line, all the way up to the skyline and down to the grass line and say D, dog, D. Now what I want to see you do is put that imaginary pencil on the end of your arm and point to the imaginary plain line. Curve around and then along the grass line and up to the skyline and straight down to the grass line and say D, dog, D. Okay, one more time. Point to the plain line, curve around to the grass line, go up to the skyline and straight down to the grass line and say D, dog, D. Okay, the other letter we're working on today is the letter S. And the S is a plain line round letter. So you start at the plain line, you curve over and back, it curves in and then back on the grass line, and it says S, snake, S. So with your finger, follow along with me, you're going to point to the plain line. You're going to go along and curve over and back and then along the grass line, and you're going to say S, snake, S. We're going to do one more. We're going to start at the plain line. We're going to go along. We're going to curve around and down and back, and we're going to say S, snake, S. Okay. Now, with your imaginary pencil, point to the imaginary skyline. Trace back, curve around and down along the grass line and say S, snake, S. The one thing that's pretty cool about the letter S is it does look like a little snake, huh? We could put our two eyes and he can have a nice little tongue that goes out. He looks like a snake, doesn't he? So funny. Okay. So our two letters today are the letter S and the letter D. So what we're going to do before I show you your work for the day, we're going to review all the sounds that we've worked on so far. So let's come back here. Let's say T, top, T, B, bat, B, F, fun, F, U up, ah. O octopus, ah. I itch, eh. M man, N nut, n. C cat, k. G game, g. A apple, ah. Today in your workbook, you're going to find the page that has the D and the S. You're going to make a super neat line of D's, super neat line of S's. And your two colors today are red and gray. If it starts with a D, you're going to color it red. So dog, dog, would dog be red or gray? It would be red for a D sound. If it starts with an S, you'll color it gray. At the bottom, same thing, coloring the letter D's red and the letter S's gray. On this page, there's some missing sounds, either beginning or ending sounds. It's going to be a G or an S. I want you to fill in the blanks and fill in the missing sound or the missing letter that is missing from each word. Okay, when you're done with those, you will press the plus sign and seesaw. You will take a picture of each of those pages and you will send them to your teacher. Nice job today, my friends. I'll see you tomorrow for Fundations. Have a good day.